Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome to Geeks of the Roundtable. It's a special episode tonight, not only because I am joined by a brand new co-host. Don't worry, he's not here to replace Zach, though he's more than welcome to join us on any and every show he wants.
It might yet happen. Whoa. I don't know if it's just my end, but you're cutting out a lot, mate. Uh-oh. I can't. You will... What's happening? All right, I guess it's just me now. Hey, guys, how you all doing? We're doing a solo show tonight. Ren's just disappeared. I think he's having a bit of a minor technical difficulty with his internet. We'll have him back in just a moment. In the meantime, g'day, Tony Movie Chappie. How are you doing, buddy? It's good to have you here, as well as Movie Fan. We'll get into your movie ranking, I guess, when Ren comes back. I don't know where he's gone. He's having a minor technical difficulty, it seems, with his internet. Maybe this is what he gets for bragging that he saw Soho before me. Hang on. Is he coming back?
Oh, we are starting off well. We are starting this show very well.
He's back.
I'm back. Someone actually knocked on the door, so I had to go there anyway. So glad I kind of bowed out of the show. But I was introducing you, Patrick. I apologize. I hate my internet. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm not doing too bad, thank you. It's 12 o'clock in the morning. Just uploaded a new video. Been editing all day. But otherwise, I'm doing really, really well. Thank you so much, Ren, for having me on once again. I'm replacing Zach in the meantime. And thank you so much for reaching out and asking me on in the meantime. It really does mean a lot. And I'm always happy to join.
Of course, and I'm happy to have you. So, guys, today I have to say the show can't go on for 2 hours. We will only go for about an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and 40 maybe, because I want to get as much of your questions as we possibly can. But I do have places to be. It is one of my best friend's birthdays today, and also the possibility of rewatching Last Night in Soho Tonight, which I will talk about very quickly on my weekly ranking. Though I don't want to get too much into it because I will still have my review either today or tomorrow, along with my review for the French Dispatch, which comes out tomorrow on the London Film Festival, which we're going to get into in a bit. Patrick, why don't you get us started with your weekly ranking, sir?
Well, my weekly ranking, I watched quite a bit this week. Some hot garbage, some pretty good movies. Right at the bottom was Psycho, the remake featuring Vince Vaughn. I had never seen it.
I never seen it.
I went to record a reaction, and the moment that I realized that this was essentially a shot-for-shot remake, just with this really ugly color palette, when the shower scene happened, and it had like really weird splicing in sort of shots of pigs. I don't know if that's just the Australian version or if that's everyone else, but the moment that happened, I was in the middle of recording my reaction, and I just turned it off. I just fucking scrapped it. It was so bad, I didn't even finish it. Next up, I have, you know what? That was actually really the only awful movie I watched this week. Some were just middle of the road.
Okay.
Next up, I have Rob Zombie's Halloween, a movie that I don't hate, admittedly. I think it does a lot right in the sense of being a remake and doing its own thing. It just takes a lot of the mystery away, especially with Michael, 45 minutes of his childhood. Why would you do that? No idea. But again, I look at it that if they didn't do something this different, what's the point on having it as a remake? So I don't hate it entirely. Next up, I have I Know What You Did Last Summer, a movie that I've recorded my reaction to. It's going to come out later this week. It's fine. There's really not much for me to say about it. It's a little bit boring at times. There's not a lot happening. And what's her name? Not Sarah Michelle Gellar, but Jennifer Love Hewitt. Her performance is so fucking funny. The screaming all the time. Honestly, I was kind of just like, what? And I learned though that shot on the mountain where she's screaming was apparently actually like directed by like a fan or something, like improvised or something. I did some like trivia research, which was really interesting to know. Next up, I have The Hills Have Eyes 2006. Watched that for the first time.
So good.
It's really fucking good. I honestly didn't expect much because I love the Wes Craven movie from the 70s. Never saw its sequels. But I was like, you know what? I haven't watched the remake, and it's from Alexander Aja, who I love his movies.
Yeah.
I really, really loved Crawl. It was one of my favorite movies of 2019. And The Hills Have Eyes had that sort of like really slow build up. Although I think showing the mountain people or the hillbillies before that big moment in the middle was a big missed opportunity to hide them until that moment. I think it's a really tense, really suspenseful movie. I think the gore, the practical effects is top notch. This is a brutal film. And it's just a lot of fun. Granted, that rape sequence in the middle doesn't need to happen. That was my biggest issue with the film. That literally had no purpose, and it was just there to be gross. And it just made me so uncomfortable. And I was just like, why is this even here? Overall, really fun film. I will be reacting to the second movie in the next couple of weeks, which I know is apparently really, really bad.
Yep, it is.
Next up, I have VHS Viral. I mean, not Viral, sorry, VHS 94. I literally got a Shudder account to watch it, and I love the first two VHS movies. VHS Viral fucking sucked. This is a really good VHS movie. It sort of gave me a little hope for the upcoming Paranormal Activity movie as a found footage film. Practical gore, great. It's fun. It's fast paced. It's entertaining. That's really all I can say. What is it? Next up, I actually have Halloween Kills.
Don't tell me too much about it because I still haven't seen it.
I'm indifferent. It's right in the middle for me right now because I don't exactly know how I feel, but the more I think about it, the more I at least appreciate what it does. I don't think it's a home run. The only way I'll end it off on this. It's the Empire Strikes Back of Halloween films. The way this movie ends reminded me of how the Empire Strikes Back ends. And it ends on such a note, which is, this is a ballsy film. It's violent. It's brutal. Like when you heard people say this goes into Rob Zombie level of gore, they fucking mean it. There are some kills in this movie where my jaw hit the fucking floor. It's just the whole thing that we saw in the trailer with the mob mentality, which I need to see multiple times to really get on board with it. But otherwise, it's a fun Halloween film, and I at least enjoyed myself while watching it. Next up, I have Squid Game. Episode 1. Yes, I've seen the entirety of Squid Game, but I recorded multiple videos trying to talk about the show, and I'm like, I can't get my full thoughts out, so I'm doing episode-by-episode reactions to talk in spoiler depth from the rewatch perspective, debunking it on that perspective, on that front, sort of talking about each episode, knowing all the little twists and turns, and looking at it from an in-depth perspective that way. Episode 1's great. I had a great time rewatching it, and it's one of my favorite shows of the year. And then I have Halloween 2018, watched it leading up to Kills, still love that film personally. And then I have Psycho, which was released in the 1960s. Rewatched it with my family for Halloween, showed my sister it for the first time, and we all loved it. And I was surprised my 14-year-old sister loved it so much. And then my number one of the week is Halloween 1978. It's my favorite horror film of all time. So that's,
Nice. All right, I've been binging the Halloween movies myself, a lot of them for the first time. I'm watching them in order. So at the bottom, I would put 3, Season of the Witch, followed by Halloween 6. That's The Curse of Michael Myers.
Paul Rudd's first performance ever, by the way.
Yes, and you can tell it's his first performance.
Yeah, you can.
Then I have Halloween 5, which really it's the same place as Halloween 6, but I had to put one on top of the other.
I just don't know why we needed Jamie as a mute, though.
Nope. I don't know why we needed the entirety of Halloween 5, to be honest. Halloween 4 is a little bit better than both of those. It doesn't make it a good movie by any chance, don't get me wrong, but it is better, I think, than Halloween 5 and 6. Halloween H2O surprised me by how average it was, because I was expecting utter trash. It's a perfectly average horror film.
There was a lot of interference with that movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then a big gap from there, from H2O to Halloween 2. All of these I
Okay.
watched for the first time. I'm doing them. In fact, I had seen Halloween 2, but it was so long ago. But all the other ones I watched for the first time. So now I only need to watch Resurrection. I'm going to rewatch the Rob Zombie remake very soon, which I really like. And then I never seen Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie. And then I'm going to rewatch the 2018 one, which I thought was just okay.
You're in for a ride with H2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. That is
so
fucking
I've heard. So I've
awful. Did you watch? Are you watching Resurrection as well?
Yes, that's the next one I'm watching. In fact, I've already started it, but I'm halfway through. I can't remember how.
After you're finished, text me. I'll explain some things between H2O and Resurrection regarding Jamie afterwards.
Okay. So on top of that, we start with the festival films, because I've seen it started with The Harder They Fall, which is a really fun Western film with a stellar cast, action-packed, very gory, hilarious. You need to look out for this one. Comes out on Netflix on November 6th. Over that, I have Last Night in Soho, which I just watched. That's all I'm going to say. My God, I love it. And you guys know, I just told you, I can't wait to possibly see it again tonight. So if I'm going to see it again tonight, that's got to be a good sign, I think. On top of Last Night in Soho, I'm going with Spencer. Now, when you all can watch these movies, I'm sure most of you will have Last Night in Soho over Spencer. And Last Night in Soho is the one I'm going to rewatch the most between these, just as what they gave me. And Last Night in Soho has probably the best cinematography I've seen all year. Dune is spectacular, and we'll get to Dune, but Dune is one color palette. Last Night in Soho is playing with all these lightings and outside shots. Yes, it's incredible. Your jaw will drop. But I do have Spencer on top of it because it's such a mesmerizing performance, and that film lives and dies with that performance. So it just tells you how good Kristen Stewart's performance is. And on top of Spencer, Dune, watched it this week, went to a press screening, already got tickets booked for the 18th, which is an early screening here, and for the 21st, which is the release date here. Dune gave me everything I wanted, and it gave me more, and it's nothing like I've ever seen before. When I tell you, Patrick, that this film is gigantic, this film is fucking gigantic. I have never seen a film, quote-unquote, the size of this, and once you see it, you'll know exactly what I mean. It's going to become a stereotype, it's going to become a cliche, but it comes from a foundation of truth. Dune is just mwah, and Hans Zimmer's score is eargasmic, and the whole visual aspect of that film is eargasmic. So yeah, Dune comes in, and my number one.
I won't be able to see it until December, dude. We don't get it till December 2nd, and here they show press screenings and premieres literally like the night or two before the movie's usually released.
Oh man!
So I'm surprised I got to see Halloween Kills so early.
So they have a screening for Halloween Kills on Monday, but I wasn't able to get it. But it comes out next week anyway. So, but I've had press screenings that over here it comes out this week because it's Saturday. So on Thursday, the 15th. Yeah. When I'm watching, I'm watching King Richard the next day. Anyway, that's a festival thing. Before we move on, let's check our friends is on the chat, their weekly rankings. Movie Fan from Australia says, and hang on, let me correct something. Boom, there we go. Movie Fan says, Promising Young Woman at number 1, a rewatch. Rocket Man rewatch on number 2. Night Teeth. Oh, you watched Night Teeth? They didn't screeners for that. I asked. Number 4, Tenet. So I don't know how you feel about Tenet, but if you put Night Teeth on top of that, Night Teeth must be good. TV shows, since I didn't get to see a 5th film, TV shows also count, my friend. Ted Lasso finale of season 2, I believe, and Mr. In Between season 3. Mr. In Between, I remember, is one you talked about last week. This is a good list. From the ones I've seen, and I've seen none of the, I don't watch Ted Lasso, I've never seen Mr. In Between. I would put Tenet at my number 1, Promising Young Woman my number 2, and Rocket Man, which I didn't really care too much about.
Neither did I.
3. Patrick, how would you go about this list from the ones you've seen, if you've seen them all?
I haven't seen Night Teeth yet, but I am trying to get a screener as well. But Ted Lasso, haven't even started. Mr. In Between, never seen it. So I'd have the same as you. I'd probably have Tenet #1, then Promising Young Woman. No, I'd actually have Promising Young Woman at #1 because Tenet was one of my honorable mentions last year. Right. It's just Promising Young Woman was just something personal. To me, at least, with the story that it told. It was so fucking personal. And then Rocket Man would be at the bottom because, admittedly, the only thing I liked in that movie was the music, the musical sequences, and Taron Egerton. Everything else I thought was very, very average.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I'll say that, even though I didn't care too much about the film as a whole. Tony Movie Chappie, I watched Promare, which is amazing. I rewatched one of my favorite horror movies, Apollo 18, which I've never seen. And then last Apollo I saw Taxi with Jimmy Fallon. And what I thought, it was going to be just a dumb, fun buddy cop movie. And I guess it's that because I personally never seen it. So you've seen Apollo 18, right, Patrick?
Years ago.
All right.
But it is very good. I can recommend it.
All right. Jigo EP, Die Another Day at 16, Moonraker, he's doing all the Bond binges. A View to a Kill, Octopussy, Quantum of Solace, The World Is Not Enough, Tomorrow Never Dies, Spectre, #9, For Your Eyes Only, #8, #7, The Living Daylights, #6, What If season finale, #5, The Spy Who Loved Me, #4, License to Kill, #3, No Time to Die, #2, Skyfall, and #1, Casino Royale. Those top 3, you have the same movies as I do, just change the order of Skyfall and Casino Royale, and that's my top 3. Of the other ones, there are some I haven't seen, but of the ones I can pull out of my head, I would definitely go Skyfall #1, No Time, Casino Royale #2, No Time to Die #3. And then the What If finale, because I don't remember much of the others because it's been a while. How about you, Patrick?
In all honesty, I haven't seen any of the Bond movies in years. The only Bond movies I've seen are the Craig movies and Dr. No. Those are the only ones I've seen. Dr. No, I did have on replay a lot as a kid because I used to own like the old VHS. I used to own the old VHS, and that's where I was introduced to Connery. So,
yeah, true. All right. Movies and Trading Studios weekly ranking: #1, Zombieland; #2, Silence of the Lambs; #3, Hocus Pocus. Never seen it. #4, Nightmare Before Christmas. Never seen it. #5, Beetlejuice. I've seen this one, though semi-recently. #6, Nobody. #7, Skyfall. #8, 10 Cloverfield Lane. #9, The Marksman. It's just Logan, but much more boring. #10, The Hunt. So disappointed by this one. If it's the one from last year, if it's the one from with Mads Mikkelsen, that's amazing. #11, The Many Saints in Newark. #12, Spectre. I give all of these movies a positive rating, and the top 8 are 5-star movies for me. Also, do you like my new? Does that mean profile pic? If it means profile
picture.
Yes, I did. I do, dude. Because I haven't watched Constantine. I love the show. It's a one-season thing. It's a one-season thing, but I thought it was really good, to be honest.
I've just got a lot of people bugging me to watch Constantine. I've got one buddy of mine telling me to watch it, and then I also have another buddy of mine telling me to finally start watching Lucifer. And I'm like, they've said like Lucifer is going to have the final season so many times now, but it's never the final fucking season. I will start watching it.
I think it's now done. I think now the 6th one has come out, and that's the final one.
I can finally start binging it. I can finally start binging it now.
Yes. All right, and let me take this out, and that's it for weekly rankings. Thank you all for sharing yours, Patrick. Without any further ado, my friend, and for your debut, why don't you bring us up to our first main topic?
Our first main topic of the week is the House of Dragon reveals its first teaser for Game of Thrones prequel on HBO Max. I think it's a HBO Max only, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so. Because I think they want to be done with HBO.
Yes.
Because they need those subs, man. They need those subs.
I remember when it was announced, I was a little disappointed because I loved the first 6 seasons of Game of Thrones and thought season 7 was just fine. I loved the first 3 episodes of season 8, and then 4, 5, and 6 just slowly declined for me. But like, I love Game of Thrones, and when I heard that House of Dragon was a HBO Max only, I was really upset because we don't have HBO Max over here. So I'm gonna have to use a VPN unless I...
We don't even have a date at this point.
Wow. Wow. Well, the thing is, all the HBO Max stuff, we don't even get it here. We don't get it.
Oh.
The only thing that I think we've had is what is Zack Snyder's Justice League, which went to binge. But that's it. Yeah. That's it. We haven't got anything else.
Sky or something.
Yeah. And like, I'm trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to watch Child's Play alone, because that's sci-fi and US TV only. I'm like, how the fuck am I going to watch that? How the fuck? But like, no, the House of Dragons trailer, although it doesn't give us much, from the production photos we saw, it's a prime example of that is just the set, where when you see it in the film, when it does the color correction, when it does the grading and everything, it will look better. It will look more cinematic. And I love the look of House of Dragon. Matt Smith looks phenomenal in his role. And I'm just sitting here going, yes, because Matt Smith isn't in enough movies, man, or TV anymore. Ever since Doctor Who, he hasn't been in much.
But I just saw him this morning, and he's awesome.
Yeah, no. The only things I remember him in, other than Doctor Who, really is Terminator Genesis for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because he's really
going to be in Morbius.
Such a great actor.
He's going to be in Morbius.
Yeah. Whatever that means.
But
for his future.
I was really happy with the trailer. Like, there isn't really much there, but as a thing to get like Game of Thrones fans excited, especially those when those images were released on like Twitter and everything, there was a lot of skepticism, but I think it revitalized a lot of hope within the Game of Thrones community because, you know, there isn't really much to provide, but at least like the cinematic look of it for someone going straight to HBO Max, just like Game of Thrones, straight to TV, it looks great. It looks very cinematic. I think the VFX for the most part look fine. I don't know much about the House of Dragon story per se, but that's something I want to witness for the first time when we go into the show. But for what it was, it's got me excited. Admittedly, it has me hyped.
Yeah, I am of two minds when it comes to this teaser. As just a teaser, judging it as what it's supposed to do, it's perfectly fine. It's not the most exciting thing I've ever seen. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's a solid teaser. I would give it a thumbs up. Just wouldn't be mind blown about it. On the other hand, as someone who's a huge Game of Thrones fan, as someone who the Targaryens are my favorite house, as someone who loves the dragons and loves the old age of Westeros and loves Matt Smith, this is tremendously exciting for me. And it gives us that sense of, okay, this is real. This is almost here. We have a teaser. We have seen that they shot things. So this show exists somewhere. It's being edited. It's being put together. And sooner than we'll realize, it will be here for us to watch it. So in that sense of having a tangibility to it, I love what this teaser gives us. It gives us no story, which I love. It just presents us to a world and to the fact that these are completely different characters from the ones we know from the main show. So again, if I'm looking at it on a very impartial note, this still gets a thumbs up. If I'm looking at it as myself on a personal point of view, this gets 2 very exciting thumbs up. So I'm definitely knighting this teaser. How about you, Patrick?
I'm the exact same. 2 thumbs up as well as 2 big toes up. I'm knighting this one.
Alrighty. Before we move on, let me see if we got someone else sharing their weekly ranking. And no, we're still all caught up. I just wanted to check in case anyone was late to share theirs. But all right, let's move on to our second topic today. And our second topic is that Agatha Harkness, or more specifically, Catherine Hahn, has signed on to be present in more movies for the MCU, in more TV shows on Disney+, but also on her own, possibly. It's in the works. In the works doesn't mean it's a sure thing, doesn't mean we're going to see it, but it means they have a plan to do it and they want to do it. And as a sure thing, at least, we know we're going to get Agatha Harkness back.
Yep.
Now, there's another piece of news semi-related to this, because both of them emerged from WandaVision, obviously, that they're working on a TV show, a Disney Plus show, also focused on Tiana Paris's Monica Rambeau. That one I'm very excited about. So I'm very open to seeing Agatha Harkness in other movies, in other shows, being a presence, being a supporting character, being a cameo, being a guest star. I don't know if we need a show of Agatha Harkness. Number one, it just feels odd that of all their villains, they're going with this one. And I'm not saying Agatha wasn't a good villain. She was. She's one of the really good ones, in fact. But still, out of all the villains that they could do a show or a movie about, Agatha is definitely not one I think needs a show. Or they're not going to do a movie about her, but she doesn't need a show, in my opinion.
No.
Monica Rambeau, on the other hand, I think it's awesome that they're doing a show on her. I would very much welcome a space-centered show on Disney Plus for a Marvel superhero. I think Monica Rambeau, who's going to join the movie sphere in the Marvels, I think it's a great way to bring more people into Disney Plus and to introduce her to a bigger audience, to then give her a show on her own on Disney Plus. That one, I think it's really smart. It makes all the sense in the world, and it's a very exciting prospect. Agatha, I like seeing her in other stuff. I'll watch it if it comes out, obviously, but I personally, right now at least, have no desire to see her lead a show of her own. Patrick, am I completely wrong on this? What do you think?
I'm kind of in the same boat, but at the same time, I think there is one way that they could make a show, at least, whether it's 4 episodes, 5 episodes. I think it should be more of a mini-series, if anything, where the episodes may be 45 to an hour-long episodes each, where it's sort of like an It mini-series, or like a Shining mini-series from Stephen King and all that.
Or like a WandaVision.
Or like a WandaVision, yeah. But in a way, I think the only way that I think I could be any more interested in this character is if they more or less explored the backstory of Agatha Harkness more, because in my opinion, the most interesting thing about that character was those brief flashback sort of scenes we got with her with the stuff with Salem. That was really fascinating and went into that sort of horror aspect the MCU is supposed to be introducing with Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange. And I think if they did a show where it's her in that time era explaining why she was the way she was in WandaVision, exploring her backstory a little bit more rather than the brief glimpses we got, because admittedly, I love Agatha Harkness, but I don't think she was as fleshed out as people made her out to be. I don't think she's as compelling as people made her out to be, because they waited till the last 2 episodes to even reveal that she was the real villain. So therefore, there was that lack of time to develop her as the villain, and it just seemed like a missed opportunity. Whereas I found, the Winter Soldier, on the other hand, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the complete opposite, had 6 episodes to build the villains where they just weren't interesting anyway, because they never took initiative of that time. That's just how I personally feel. But when it comes to that, though, I think doing like maybe 3 or 4 episodes back in that time period with her to really flesh out her character could be something really interesting and something we might not have even seen in the MCU before. And I think that might be the only way to really do a show with her well, or something that would be remotely interesting. With that, there was a little Easter egg in WandaVision that I don't know if anyone else picked up, but Agatha Harkness' son, Nicholas Scratch, she named her Bonnie Scratch.
Yeah.
What if they explored that in the backstory with Nicholas Scratch as well? Because if I remember correct from the comics, Nicholas Scratch is meant to be a Doctor Strange villain, which could then lean into stuff post Multiverse of Madness. I think that could be really interesting, especially when it gave that little Easter egg in WandaVision naming the bunny that she had Scratch. In regards to the whole stuff with Monica Rambeau, though, that makes me really excited because if I'm not mistaken, she's Photon, correct?
Yes. Photon or Spectrum. I don't know. At this point, we don't know which of the names she's going to take up in the MCU.
Right. I think they're going to go more the Photon route. But
yeah,
that's
I
just
think
me.
so too.
Especially with the way she got her powers, the sort of what she showed off in the finale of WandaVision. But with that said, I'm really excited, especially because she's meant to be also in the Marvels with Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel. And having a show post the Marvels with Photon, I think is a really, really great idea, because obviously you have the movies that have those central characters and have those other side characters on the side coming in to join them, like Miss Marvel, like Photon with the Captain Marvel movie called The Marvels, but then have their own shows in the process like Miss Marvel's already getting. That makes me really excited, because this is a character that obviously was introduced in Captain Marvel, and then we saw in WandaVision a little bit more grown up after the snap. There's a lot more there to introduce and to explore, and this is already a really interesting character, especially with who her mother was prior. And I think there's some really emotional stuff they could explore with that, not even just in the Marvels, within her own show. So that's honestly, as you said, what I'm more excited for as well.
Yeah, I don't know how to verdict this one, because I like some of the possibilities for Agatha as, again, as a guest star, as a supporting character, as a cameo here and there, as an Easter egg per se. And the Monica stuff, if we're doing that solo, I'm very much knighting that. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
I love that. I love Tiana Paris in the role. Agatha, again, even with your proposition of the miniseries, if you're going to do a show on her, I think that's how it's going to work. I think that's the only possibility it works. But I'm still very hesitant, because I don't know if I want to know all that. I don't know if she needs a show for all of that. I'm very good with just imagining it in my head. So right now, at least, I need to be convinced. Again, in Feige we trust. That's the whole thing with the MCU. For me, at least. So this one, I'm not going to send it to the dungeon. I'm going to send it away, but I can't personally knight it at the moment. How about you, Patrick?
I'm kind of the same. Like, on one side of the spectrum with the whole Monica Rambeau stuff with what is her name? Tiana Paris?
Tiana Paris, the actress, yes.
Yeah. That if it was just that, as you said, I'd be knighting it. I'd be giving it a massive thumbs up. But again, it's just like, depending on how they handle the whole Agatha thing, if they are going forward with it, it really depends. And I will really have to wait and see how I feel through marketing, through reveals, and when the show actually comes out. I think it will be one of those things that I won't know until I see it. So it's not a matter of sending it to the dungeon or knighting it. I'm kind of just in that middle spectrum right there of, I really don't know, because I think it's a fascinating idea, but it's also a matter of, is it going to be handled well, and do we really need it?
I totally get that, and I fully agree. All right, everyone, let's move on to our third topic. And Patrick, why don't you introduce us into our third and penultimate topic today?
Well, we all know that the finale of What If was this week, and we're going to talk about, do we think Marvel's What If was a success? Okay, in my opinion, I think it was a success, because it was talked about every single week. Every episode was talked about, like WandaVision, 7 days consecutively after their release, and had that annoying bullshit where spoilers were online within 30 minutes of the episode's release anyway. Thank you. I just wanted to binge it without any spoilers, but, you know, it's okay, though. I'm kind of used to it at this point.
It's Twitter.
Yeah. Man, I am kind of just used to it at this point. But to say it wasn't a success would be just, you know, in denial, I reckon, because it got great critical ratings. I think the Marvel fan base really enjoyed it for the most part. It did have its good and bad episodes. Overall, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I think it does a lot of stuff right with the what if concept, and it all came full circle at the end from each episode, and certain things being brought in. I thought certain moments were also really funny, as some of the funniest stuff I think we've seen from the Marvel Cinematic Universe at times. Especially one of my favorites was in Marvel Zombies with the Zombieland references. That was really, really amazing for me. But overall, I'd say it was kind of like a middle of the road show, but one that wasn't a dumpster fire. It was a critical and media success. It got the clicks, it had the ratings and everything. Without a doubt, we're going to get a season 2 of What If. I think for them not to do that would just be very silly. And who knows, we might even get multiple spin-offs or whatever, where it's focusing on certain things throughout their own different seasons. Like, what if zombies season whatever, or what, anything like that. So to say it wasn't a success, I think would just be stupid, because it was. But I just wasn't the biggest fan of it personally.
I'm with you, because you bring up a lot of good points where it was always in the conversation. Everyone was talking about it week after week after week. Even if it was to say it was shit, everyone was talking about it. Everyone was talking about every single episode of the show. As far as the average Marvel movie or show is concerned, this is very bottom for me. I speak to you all. You guys know how much I love the MCU. You guys know I don't think the MCU has ever given us a total dumpster fire. The worst thing is, at the very least, very watchable. And What If is still not a dumpster fire. At the very least, if every single episode was shit, the animation would still be there, and the animation was the one thing that I felt was always consistent and was always top-notch. Not to the taste of everyone, but for me personally, I really like it, and I thought as the episodes went on, the budget was always there. They did not miss their budget in any of the episodes. And you can tell, especially in the finale, they went all out on that one.
Yeah.
But I think it's a very underwhelming show overall, because it is so inconsistent. It is so it has a lot of fat. I talked about this in my review, but there are a lot of episodes that did not need to be there. The Killmonger episode, absolutely unnecessary. And it was so obvious what was going to happen with that character from the beginning. I was like, what? Why is he chosen? The zombies episode, I talked to you, Patrick, and if you guys see my review, you know I enjoyed that episode quite a lot. And I think it was completely unnecessary. If anything, so the Gamora episode that wasn't present in this season, apparently they couldn't, that's the episode that got pulled because of COVID restrictions. They couldn't do work on it. Maybe it was a voice, maybe it was unfinished animation, I don't know, but they couldn't finish the episode, which perfectly fine. And I don't know how they work on these episodes in order, but if anything, if there's an episode that I would throw on to season 2, it would be the zombies episode, Patrick. Because imagine not knowing anything about the zombies, and suddenly in that finale, Doctor Strange opens this portal and the zombies drop, and there's a zombie one, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And then imagine waiting for season 2 and getting that as the premiere of season 2. I think
although
that would be awesome. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, although Zombies was my personal favorite episode, that's more a nostalgia thing. But out of the episodes that we had this season, it was the most out of place episode in the season.
I would agree.
It didn't feel like it belonged.
If they had a Spider-Man with a cape, with a cloak, to the lineup of Guardians of the Multiverse, that's it. That's all you need to make the zombies episode necessary.
But we didn't have that.
We didn't have that. Killmonger was there for some reason. Thor, obviously you're going to have Thor on the team if you can, because Thor is just stupid powerful. But the episode itself, and I enjoy that episode for what it was going for, it fully accomplished it, in my opinion. But the Thor episode didn't need to be in the season, apart from that last scene where you get introduced to, oh shit, it's Ultron. That's the only thing that is needed in that episode. I also thought, and again, the one episode I don't like is the Killmonger episode. I go into all the reasons in my review for that episode and in my ranking that I uploaded last night. I thought most of the episodes, and again, I like most of them, and I expected this for this first season, but they don't fulfill everything that such a promising premise as what if something. And a lot of them don't go out. I think the Doctor Strange fully fulfills that premise. I think the Ultron episode, the not the finale, but the other one,
the one beforehand,
the 8th episode, What If Ultron 1, fully fulfills that premise. I think the T'Challa episode fully fulfills that premise. Even the zombie one kind of does that, except I want to see beyond the point where that episode ends. It just doesn't fit to me in the context of this whole show for what they were going for, converging all these stories. And I don't even know what to tell you about the Gamora episode. For all I know, it doesn't need to exist either. But I want to see it at this point in time.
But it could have been the best one as well. It could have very well been the best episode, but we will never know. And that's one other thing. That finale,
we will know. They said they were going to put it in season 2. They're going to put it in season 2.
Because I was going to say the whole Gamora thing in that final episode felt out of place too, because we never got that episode.
Yeah, the whole Infinity Destroyer or whatever it was. I'm like, where is that? I want to see an explanation for that. Did she defeat Thanos with that in her episode? I hope so, because I want to see it. But yeah, there was just a lot of fat to be trimmed, and I want them to go bonkers in the next episode. I'm actually planning. I don't know if I'm going to do this. Depends on how much you guys are into the reviews and how much you're into the ranking. But I want to do kind of a 10 what if pitches for season 2, just to have fun with it. Because I want them to go wild. I want them to be able to go wild. Give me a Howard the Duck defeats Thanos episode. I don't know how you do it, but go nuts. Have fun.
And bring back Marty McFly's mother.
Shows exactly. But yeah, I think as a whole, as a one-season thing, if I'm ranking it with the other shows, it's definitely the bottom for me. If I'm ranking it on the things that the MCU has offered this year, it's definitely the bottom for me. And if I'm ranking it on the whole as an MCU property, it's not the bottom thing, but it's very down there. Hell, if you guys know how I feel about a certain movie, when I tell you I'd put it under Thor Ragnarok as a whole, that tells you something. But yeah, it's overall it's a disappointment, but that's not to say it's a truly horrible show. I'll be there for season 2. Don't get me wrong. I'll be there to cover it. I'll be there very excited, depending on the trailer. And I hope we see more of what we see in that post-credit scene. But yeah, it's just a show that didn't fulfill the promise of its own premise entirely. In fact, one of the episodes goes entirely against that promise. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Again, I can't quite throw it in the dungeon, but I fully cannot knight it. So I'm going to wait for a season 2, and hopefully they correct those dwindling mistakes that were left, that were very common throughout all the faults of season 1. Patrick, what's your verdict?
If it was just talking about what if on its own, I just have it right in the middle. I couldn't knight it, couldn't throw it in the dungeon. I really couldn't do either. But if we're talking about, like, is what if a success, I would knight it because it's clearly a success. As we said, it was talked about every week. It was talked about throughout the entire 7-day period before the next episode was released. Everyone was there immediately, and everyone was talking about it. Full spoilers on Twitter. People were rushing to get their videos out immediately. It was a critical hit. It was a media hit. Audiences seem to love it. Like, it has, from what I saw, one of the highest audience scores on IMDb and on Rotten Tomatoes for a Marvel property, if I'm not mistaken. Again, fact check that for me. I can't be sure. But when I checked last, it was one of the highest for audience scores.
It probably is, because as far as as far as fans are concerned, an idea such as what if is the ultimate wish fulfillment thing. So that makes total sense to me. Exactly.
And you know, to say it wasn't a success and throw it in the dungeon saying it wasn't a success, like, what? So I'm knighting the concept of it being a success. It is a success, but in the sense of what if on its own, I'm kind of just middle range. I couldn't do either. It's bottom tier for me personally. Not to say that it's bad. There are only maybe 3 Marvel movies I truly just don't like, will never watch again, whereas there are a large handful I think are just fine. I've voiced my thoughts on the MCU after rewatches throughout COVID. I don't love most of the movies, but I don't hate any of them, aside from like 2 or 3. Thor: The Dark World being one of them in particular. One of them actually came out this year, which I was just like, why the fuck do we even have this movie? And that was Black Widow, admittedly. Did not like that film personally, but nothing against people who liked it. That's fine. That's fine. That's what I love about film. It's so different. And same with comic book movies. It's different avenues.
Exact same thing. Movies are movies.
Exactly. So whether I don't like a movie and other people's like it, that's fine. Just don't be an ass on Twitter. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's part of the fun. All right, let's go to our final topic, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a doozy. Because I really want to hear Patrick's thoughts on this, because we know, from the last we spoke at least, we know he's not particularly excited for this, but the Eternals have, Eternals, Chloe Zhao's Eternals, the reigning, defending, undisputed best director in the world, up until next year at least, is going to have her premiere, the premiere for her Marvel movie at the Rome Film Festival that is happening at the end of this month in, obviously, Rome, Italy. They already have Venice Film Festival. Why did they need the Rome Film Festival? Come on, that's unfair. Anyway, look, I'm very excited for this film. I love the Eternals in the comics. I love Nomadland. I love Chloe Zhao. I love what I've seen in the trailers. I love the MCU in general. To say that I'm excited for this film, it is an understatement. Now that I've seen Dune, it is officially my #1 most anticipated film of the year. To say that this is unprecedented, to say that this is a great sign for the film, after all we've been hearing from Kevin Feige, from the Marvel people, which, again, of course, the Marvel people are going to say their movie is good, but to say it is the best thing they've ever done, it's something. This is very exciting. This is nothing but good news for the Eternals. This is nothing, again, but a good sign for the film. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the one film in a long time for Marvel that we have not had any red flags on. Anything and everything that has come out about this film has been nothing but good news. Maybe not personally exciting, but on a move, when you think about the business of filmmaking, when you think about the accolades for films, when you think about what matters for the industry, nothing that has come out for the Eternals has been anything but exciting, but positive. And I think this is not just another positive thing. This is a big step to have a Marvel movie come out at a festival. Granted, it's not Venice, it's not TIFF, it's not Telluride, it's not Sundance, but it is a big film festival in a big city. This kind of blew my mind when I read it. Patrick, how are you feeling about this? Does this give you any more confidence or excitement towards Eternals, or at least raises your curiosity?
It definitely raises my curiosity, but doesn't necessarily get me more excited. As I said last time we talked about this very subject matter, after seeing Shang-Chi, I have hope. I have hope. I am not impressed by any of the trailers, any of the TV spots. I'm just not impressed. But when I hear Feige saying this is the best thing they've ever made, usually I don't listen to producers or filmmakers on that case because, as you said, they're obviously going to sit about their own film to get the word of mouth out there. But for a movie like Eternals to go to a film festival for its premiere shows the amount of confidence they have in this film and shows how much they really mean the stuff that they've been saying. There's been no backlash with this movie. There's been nothing in regards to interference or any controversies going on in the background. Every Marvel movie has had this in the past. Yeah. Every movie really ever has this. But this movie doesn't. And that's sort of unprecedented in 2021. You just don't hear of that. And it gets me very, very curious, especially when they've got the confidence and so much trust in this film that they are putting it out there at a film festival. Although it's just Rome Film Festival, no one just says it's just Rome Film Festival. It's still a film festival. And they have such confidence. They're premiering it there. And that's a big thing. And I think this is actually really, really, really amazing. Again, I might not have loved Nomadland. I actually didn't like it, but I love Chloe Zhao's direction. She is stellar with her direction. Although I don't need to see Frances McDormand shitting in a bucket, I still loved her direction. She is a
I don't think that's happening in Eternals. Something gives me the feel that I don't think that's happening in this one.
Well, did you hear that apparently the reason why Icarus, played by Richard Madden, has the thing over his front is because he was too well hung?
I saw that on Twitter, and I contemplated being the party pooper and just posting a picture of Icarus in the comics, who just also has that And maybe it's true. I'm sure Richard Madden has a massive dick. His name is Dick, after all. Not saying he's not well endowed. I'm sure he is, but that's not the reason why he has the flail thing. That it is to cover his. Icarus has that in the comics. Okay.
Well, hey, if we get to see Icarus shit in a bucket in Eternals, I'm giving it an immediate A+. And
right.
Zach's saying right now, Zach's saying in chat right now, because he's here. Hi, Zach. Fuck you for seeing Dune so early.
Zachariah.
He said he shit in a bucket yesterday. So, hey, how did it feel? I want to know how it felt, Zach. I haven't done that ever.
He shat in a bucket in New York, nonetheless. Very dangerous.
Oh, did you do it during the Dune screening? Because that would have been interesting. Or is that just
he shat himself, but for different reasons and not in a bucket? It was just excitement.
It speaks for the film in the sense that it was so good that it made him shit himself. He was clenching his asshole too tight. He just lost all muscle capacity in his butt cheeks. That's a sentence I never thought I'd ever say.
Yay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm seeing Last Night in Soho again tonight. Thanks to my awesome housemates who just got me a ticket for £5 nonetheless. And maybe Edgar Wright will be there. Maybe a member of the cast will be there. I don't know. By the way, a surprising known face is in one scene of Last Night in Soho. I didn't expect to see. It's not going to be Clint Eastwood. It's someone you know. It's someone you know. It's not like an A-lister.
Simon Pegg, sorry. Simon Pegg.
No. None of the Edgar Wright people. At least,
damn it.
I don't think. But it is a British actor. But it's just someone. It's not like it's an A-lister. But it's someone that this guy. Who, by the way, that person I've walked by that person in the street. We lived close to each other. From what I gather. But yes, exciting news for Eternals, my friends. Exciting news. And by the way, people have been saying that Eternals could also be the surprise film on Monday here at the London Film Festival. I absolutely do not believe that whatsoever. I don't see that as a remote possibility. But maybe if you guys pray for it and pray for me, I will be seeing Eternals on Monday. Who knows? Anyway, this is very exciting. I am absolutely knighting Eternals going on to a film festival. Patrick, how about you, sir?
Knighting it for sure. Like, again, I'm not entirely sold on Eternals, but I've got hope. But seeing this news does get me more curious, and it's a really damn good sign for the film, and is so fucking positive. Without a doubt, knighting it. Like, it's just the best signal you can give for a movie like this.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
It shows their confidence in it.
Yeah, if you can get your hands on it, the Neil Gaiman run from Eternals is the best thing I can recommend it to you to get introduced a bit to the notion of Eternals. And it's just the best run of their story that I've ever read. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for topics. Let's take the next 35 to 45 minutes for your questions. So if you guys have not thrown them into the live chat, make sure to throw them into the live chat. If you want us to answer your question, we'll do our best to get to them. Or if you want to guarantee your question is answered and answered immediately, make sure you consider to go through the tip link that is in the description or use the super chat feature so you not only ask us quick questions but support the show and the channel overall as you do it. Alrighty.
First question though, Ren.
Oh yes.
I've got to ask you this. Will you be starting to watch Demon Slayer Season 2 tomorrow?
It comes out tomorrow?
So it comes out on the 10th.
Oh yeah, that's the 10th tomorrow. Actually, I don't know if I will because I've read that they're doing the
7-episode run for Mugen Train, but
much like Dragon Ball Super did.
Super did for Battle of Gods and Resurrection F
and Battle of Gods. Yeah.
So
I don't know if I'm going to start it tomorrow when it comes out. Maybe I'll let you tell me. Okay, they're done with Mugen Train. Or at least the next episode. I'll watch the end of Mugen Train again just to see that fight between Akaza and Rengoku. And then the Red Light District arc, which is awesome in the manga, but it does go a little bit too long. But yeah, I'll definitely watch the season. Just don't know if I'm going to start when it starts. Also, I got Digimon on Sunday. The Digimon Ghost game is really good. It's a new Digimon season, and it's a horror show now. which I think is really great.
We've got the new what movie is it? What is it? Something Sword Online coming out?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've never seen it. I try that.
Yeah, it comes out in December, I think. Yeah, Sword Art Online, Progressive Aria of Starless Night comes out December 9th. And I secured my tickets. I secured my tickets for My Hero. World Heroes Mission.
Nice. Mine aren't still on sale, but they gave me a date, so I'll very much be paying attention to that. All right. Nathan Holton starts us off. Have you guys played Until Dawn? I did. I did not finish it, but I need to go back on it. I still own the game. I still want to get back on it. But what I played, I really liked. Patrick, this is a horror game. You're a horror guy. I'm going to bet $100 that you have played Until Dawn. Don't fuck with me now.
I didn't just.
This is an imaginary bet.
I didn't just play Until Dawn. I platinumed it.
Oh, my man. All right.
I love Until Dawn. It's one of the best point-and-click butterfly effect games out there. If you haven't played it, fucking play it. It's up there with Heavy Rain, mate. It's up there with Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. Mm-hmm. It's so good.
This is a great question for you specifically. Patrick, since you've seen Halloween Kills, do you think that they showed too many kills in the trailer? Specifically, don't tell me about the second trailer because I haven't seen the second trailer, but that first trailer, that main trailer that came out like a month, 2 months ago, do you think they showed too much?
They only showed the kills of the firefighters in the trailers.
Okay.
And a few other things here and there regarding some kills. Like, there is a major spoiler, even the first trailer, for a series-long character. If you've got a very clever eye, you will notice it. And I honestly was so fucking pissed off that I noticed it. I was so mad. So when it happened in the movie, I was like, oh, okay. But though, in that very scene I'm talking about, don't say it in the chat, by the way, for Ren. Don't say it because I don't think Ren knows the kill I'm talking about. In that very scene, there is a really, really funny kill. Like, it's brutal, but I was in stitches in the theater at my press screening. Like, the way it's kind of Michael going up against them, but in the same way they kind of kill themselves.
Okay.
I don't exactly know how to describe it. I don't exactly know how to describe it, but the way this character dies is so funny. I was laughing so hard because it was like the shock value with that's just slapstick right there. But no, they did not show.
That's a recurring thing in the Halloween movies, even in Halloween 2, which I really like. There's the Ben Tramer death is extremely funny. Where Loomis is like, stop, and he's just crossing the street, and then you immediately cut to a cop just going full speed to crush him against the truck,
and then it just goes kaboom.
Fucking hilarious. Yeah, I was loving that film. That film was so similar in tone and pace and everything to the first one, and then you have that scene. I'm like, what the fuck happened here?
It's just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's absolutely not Michael Myers. That's absolutely not Michael Myers, guys. Come on.
No.
But it was fucking hilarious. I love
Halloween Kills does not show too much. It does hint at a bit too much, but it doesn't show too much from the two trailers. Don't know about the TV spots. Didn't watch them. Do not watch the clips that they released online, though. The clips that they released online do spoil major deaths. They do. I am furious over it. I'm lucky I watched the movie beforehand.
Yeah.
But if you watch those clips, you've been ruined of some very surprising stuff in the film.
Wow.
There is some great emotional stuff. I can't say too much about the film. In Australia, I'm under embargo until the 28th. But I will say this.
Damn.
Yeah, because that's our release date. I've got embargo until the 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on October 28th here. So fuck me, right? And I got to see it on the 5th. But I will say, it has some of the best kills in the entire series, and this isn't just Michael killing people fast. It is brutal. It's some of the goriest shit you will see. There's one kill in particular where I was just like, stop, Jesus, he's had enough.
He's already dead. All right. Movie fan Patrick will you be seeing Last Night in Soho at Biff, which is the
Twice.
Brisbane? correct?
Brisbane International Film Festival. I'm seeing it on the 28th at the gala event, and I'm seeing it on the 29th at the general showing.
I saw it today at the press screening, at the first press screening, because there were 4. Because this year they're doing a lot of screeners for the big movies. I was there at 6:30 a.m. The film was only at 8 a.m. I slept terribly and very little. I'm going to do it again tomorrow for the French Dispatch. But anything to watch these movies, to be a part of the festival, and to bring these reviews to you guys. But yes, and tonight I'm going to be at the gala screening, which maybe someone will be there, and I'll have pictures on Twitter and whatnot if they are. Katya Netu, good friend of the show. Katya, it's been a while. What is Movie Fan Ranking? So every week we do weekly rankings where we rank all the stuff that we saw this week. So if you want to join in on that fun, you're more than welcome to. All right. More questions.
I see one from Movie Fan down here. I know it's not on screen, but I'm just going to answer it right now. He's asking if what is it? The firefighter scene in Halloween Kills was too brutal because there was apparently a petition to get it removed. That's the most tame scene in the entire movie. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It's the most tame scene in the movie, and from the trailers, that's saying something. It's very tame in comparison to the rest of the film.
I thrive on violence, so I love hearing that. Jorge says, what is your most anticipated character in Eternals? Icarus might be in the next Avengers. Icarus is my favorite Eternal in the comics, and I love Richard Madden. So he's my favorite. He's my most anticipated. I would say after him, it would probably be Cersei or Gilgamesh, because Gilgamesh is OP in the comics. So I can't wait to see him in this film. How about you, Patrick? Do you have? I know you're not the most excited person for Eternals, but is there anyone, even if for the actor alone, that you're excited to see?
Google entries. I am looking up Eternals characters. You know what? I'm going to say Gilgamesh because it's played by the expecting father in Train to Busan.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to say because I love that actor. Don Lee is such a good fucking actor.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
It's either that or Kingo, played by Kumail
Nanjiani. Kumail Nanjiani. Yeah. Kingo.
Yep.
All right, I'm excited to see them all, really. But yeah, that's a great one to bring up too. Hey, Ren, I saw The Many Saints in Newark. Nice, you were very excited for it, so I'm very glad. And you say you like it a lot. I'm so happy for you, dude. Did you see that David Chase signed a 5-year deal with WB? Do you think we will get a Many Saints miniseries or movie trilogy? I'm not aware of how well or how bad, for that matter, the movie is doing. I had a ton of Sopranos fans in my comment section in my review going off on the movie. And then I had a few that really enjoyed it. And then I know fellow movie reviewers that are fans of The Sopranos and love this film. If he signed a 5-year deal, it could be for a movie trilogy. It could be for a miniseries. It could be for something completely unrelated to Sopranos. A 5-year deal also does mean that he only has to come in if WB wants him. He could write 1 million shows, 1 million movies, and if WB doesn't want him, they're not going to get made. But it really depends on how well the movie's doing. If it's doing well, I could see it more as a mini-series for HBO Max. But right now, as I'm very unaware of how the box office is going for that film, but as I understand, the critical reception is pretty solid at the very least. I think at the moment I wouldn't say it's likely, again, because I'm not aware of how financially it is doing. But I would say it is a possibility. Okay.
It's currently only earned 8.2 million worldwide.
What was the budget, if you can see it?
The budget was I'm just checking that now.
Yeah, no worries.
50 million.
50. And worldwide has only done 8.
Granted, though, it's not out in a lot of places yet. It's only out in the US and the UK at the moment, I believe, because I know us Australians don't get it until the 18th of November or the 11th. I think it actually releases alongside No Time to Die here.
Can you check IMDb real quick to confirm that it is only out over there and over here? Because look, if it is only out here in the UK and in the US, 8 million is not too bad. It only came out this past week in the US. So for a film like that, you don't expect that to be a major box office hit, especially because it came out with Venom. So right now we're going to see how many legs it has, how good its legs are in the long run.
Oof.
If it is out in more places than the US and the UK, it is not a good sign, unfortunately.
It's out in the UK, Ireland, USA, Israel, Spain, United Arab Emirates, Argentina, Uruguay, Denmark, Portugal, Slovakia, Canada, Norway, Singapore, USA, Indonesia, and this week it comes out in Sweden. Still waiting for releases in Poland, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Iceland, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Taiwan, and Australia. Some of those aren't even until January, but the others, the big one I think is Hong Kong, but that's not until January.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I'm going to have to go back on my word, Luis. I don't see, if anything, again, at this point, I see the movie trilogy as a complete impossibility. At least in my mind, I wouldn't pay for it, seeing as the movie is doing as badly as it is. A mini-series, it's just going straight to HBO Max. Not likely, but not impossible either. Patrick, what do you think?
Look, for a box office, even in the US, the UK, and everything, to only have an 8 million box office after 2 weekends, essentially, that's really bad. That's really bad. No matter the film,
over here, it came out the week before. Over here, it came out like on the 24th or whatever it was.
24th, 23rd of September. Yeah. That's really bad for a worldwide box office so far. I don't see them really doing much unless it's like a really small HBO Max series where they probably won't even have much money behind it because they know not many people are interested in it for that reason.
Which is a shame because I think it's a solid film. And I know how excited you were for it, Luis. But yeah, I had no idea it was doing that badly, and look, that's a very bad result.
Unfortunately, the only films that are really being pushed at the moment for anything are The Last Duel, Last Night in Soho, Halloween Kills, Malignant, which still hasn't had its worldwide release yet. It's still in some places. Antlers is completely missed the mark. I think most people have even forgotten about that movie. That comes out in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Eternals, No Time to Die, and Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Those are the only movies really being pushed at the moment because, guess who still hasn't seen Venom, Let There Be Carnage, but essentially has because of Twitter? Because we don't get it till November 25th.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, man. All right. Luis Luciano. Hey, Ran, agree or disagree? Jojo Siwa should do the soundtrack for the upcoming Barbie movie, Margot. I have no idea who that is.
That's actually not bad.
I have no idea who that is, but I'll say this: I'm a score guy, not so much a soundtrack guy. So I really, if you said a Lady Gaga, I would still say I don't really care. I'm a score guy, and if Lady Gaga was to do the score, she would do a great job. I just don't care for that, like in anticipation, if that makes sense. And I can't believe I'm excited for a Barbie movie still, but it stars Margot Robbie, so I'll be there day one.
It's because it features the goddess herself.
Yeah, the goddess, the greatest Australian export ever.
Export.
And I say that including the legendary Russell Crowe and so many, and Nicole Kidman and so many others.
Hugh Jackman and so many other people. Yeah. We don't include Mel Gibson anymore. We don't include Mel Gibson anymore.
No. We recognize his talents in front and behind the camera, and that's it.
Not as a person.
He lost his treasure status.
But
yeah. But I have no idea who Jojo Siwa is, unless that's Jojo, like the old pop star. But now she has a surname. It's not. Okay, so I
It's
have
not.
no clue who that is.
She's literally like 18 years old, but she's like this. She used to be like this really small childhood kid personality and everything, who has that sort of like her music's very Barbie-esque, and I actually think that's especially her personality. It's very bubbly, like Barbie is.
I would invite Aqua back to do the the soundtrack for the Barbie movie. I'd
invite the person who did that song number in Toy Story 3 between Ken and Barbie.
Oh, nice, nice. All right. The Viewer Drew, what's a movie you feel wasted a great actor? Phantom Menace wasted Liam Neeson. I agree. Midsummer wasted Will Poulter. I don't agree with that one. I love Will Poulter.
Oh, I love Will Poulter in that movie.
Interstellar wasted Matt. I also don't agree with that one. Like, he was in the film like only for a little while, but it's because it's Matt Damon that it's so great that he's only in the movie for a little while. And Alien Covenant wasted James Franco. Definitely agree with that one.
He wasted James Franco, the actor, not the person.
Yes, obviously.
But like,
that's a great question. That's a great question.
A movie that wasted a great actor.
I think I felt that semi-recently.
I have one, but I can't talk about it because it's a recent movie.
Oh, okay.
It's in Halloween Kills. I will say that.
All right, all right.
It is in Halloween Kills, and I will say that one actor completely fucking wasted.
I mean, I could tell you that Dear Evan Hansen wasted every single talented member of that cast.
Man, I'm hearing all the backlash to that movie, and I'm so upset because we don't get it till December, and I love the stage musical. I fucking adore it.
So I've never seen the stage musical, but I'll tell you, when that trailer came out, I fell in love with it. I was in love with that trailer, so I was fully into that film. But how it goes about its messaging and its story just rubs me completely as someone who deals with mental health and with similar conditions as the lead character. And I'll say this. I'll summarize it in one sentence because I don't want to go into it. I have a full review up. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It uses mental health, and in the case of the family, grief, as kind of an excuse to do the shittiest things possible to other people.
That's kind of what Dear Evan Hansen is, though. But on the stage musical, it's more or less a means of trying to give people hope in the process, telling a really bad lie and deceiving other people and being really fucking shitty. But to give other people that sort of hope and to raise awareness.
You get that in this film. I get that is what he's trying to do, but it's just I don't see that as an excuse, you know. Yes, he wants to give this family hope, but you're still the most horrible person I've seen in a while in movies.
I have heard
like,
that.
To me, it would have worked if the angle was, if the point of the story was to look at what this kid is doing. This is clearly a horrible thing. He needs psychological help. Because he doesn't get along with his mother. He needs to live vicariously with this other kid's family. But that's never the point of the film.
No.
So that's why I really don't like it.
In the musical, now that you say that to me, I now understand a little bit where the backlash is coming, because that stuff that you say should be focused on is something focused on in the stage musical a lot.
See?
And knowing that Ben Platt is behind this, and I've heard now that you say that they've changed that direction, is actually kind of fucking weird to me.
It is.
That's actually really weird.
Yeah. But going back to the question, I didn't feel this too much, but for such an actor, you would expect to see more for him. I think The Many Saints of Newark wasted a little bit of John Bernthal. I get that it wasn't the main character or anything. But just you hire John Bernthal to play Johnny, the father of Tony Soprano, and I just wish we could have seen more of him.
Actually, speaking of him, he was wasted in Those Who Wish Me Dead. I thought he was very wasted in Those Who Wish Me Dead. I like that movie.
That's a great one.
I bought the Blu-ray, but that was a very big waste of your John Bernthal, and it had no development between, oh, this kid's actually his nephew. Where was that after the first 20 fucking minutes? There was a lot that they could have done there, and it was disappointing because while I enjoyed the movie a lot, it wasted so much John Bernthal. By the way, that
excuse me a second, because someone is knocking on the door, and I'm home alone. I'll be back. in 2 minutes. Continue with your point.
Oh, that's all good, mate. No, but I was just saying that, like, there were so many avenues there with Those Who Wish Me Dead where, you know, you could have had great stuff with John Bernthal and the actress who played his wife. Forgive me for not remembering. There's great tension there. There are some great moments, but there is never that development to really have John Bernthal be John Bernthal or to make good use of him in that movie. And not only that, like, I was also going to say that kid actor, I don't exactly remember his name, but he is actually a local to me. He's an Australian actor, and I think he's absolutely wonderful. Fuck, what's his name?
I forgot his name too, but I remember he was amazing in the film.
Yeah, Finn Little.
He's really great.
He's a Brisbane local here. He's a Brisbane local.
Right.
He's an Australian actor from Brisbane. He was also in another movie a few years ago, which I thought was actually kind of dreadful. It was called Storm Boy as a remake with Jeffrey Rush. Dreadful movie.
Oh yeah, with Jack Courtney.
Courtney.
That's an Australian thing. Like it's based on. Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
I got to attend the premiere a few years ago, and that's actually where I met Finn for the first time. And then I got to attend the premiere again for Those Who Wish Me Dead and got to meet the kid again. But look, he's a really good fucking actor, and he's got a really bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, I agree. I really like him in the film. All right, Chico EP, good friend of the show. In terms of the series so far, it would be Loki, WandaVision, What If, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I gave them all positive grades, but I really liked 2 of them and just thought 2 were solid. I definitely agree with that order. I absolutely love Loki. Loki is fantastic. Still my favorite show of this year so far.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe with Cowboy Bebop things will change. I don't know.
Or Hawkeye.
Or Hawkeye. Or Wheel of Time. Who knows? WandaVision is fantastic. I do love WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
I would put Falcon and Winter Soldier just slightly above What If. What If does have overall the best episode out of What If and Falcon and Winter Soldier. In fact, it probably has the top 3 episodes. Then again, episode 4 and 5 of Falcon and Winter Soldier are fabulous, I think. But yeah, overall, just as a unit, I think the show Falcon and Winter Soldier is a bit stronger than What If. But like you, I give positive reviews and grades to all of them. Patrick, do you agree with this order? Would you change it like me? Do you prefer which one? Would you?
I love one of them. I thought the others were just fine. I love WandaVision. Okay. I wasn't a fan of Loki. Wasn't a fan of Falcon Winter Soldier. Wasn't really a fan of What If. So my ranking from best to worst, well, not worst because they're all just fine. Would be WandaVision, Loki,
least
What
best.
If. Well, Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then What If again. What if would be down the bottom. But like, I just think there was a little bit more of an enjoyment factor for Falcon and Winter Soldier, no matter how much I found that quite boring through a lot of scenes. But I think it executed its message better than what the concept of What If executed its concept.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Movie Fan says, what if Star Wars already exists? It's Star Wars Visions. They're going for different things because Star Wars Vision is not connecting every single one of its episodes. What If is. And honestly, I think the Star Wars Visions worked a lot, not a lot, worked better than What If. Patrick, we have the gift of hindsight right now. Hindsight is 2020. So here's what I would have done with What If. Having seen the finale, instead of doing each and every, because we knew they're going to come together one way or another, some way, somehow, somewhen, they were going to come together. So here's what I would have done. I would have made some episodes slightly longer. And let's give the example of the first episode, Captain Carter. We finished the episode where he finished it. We jump into Winter Soldier. We have a little bit of catching up with Captain Carter, blah, 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 going on this mission on the opening of the Winter Soldier movie. And then they see the Watcher. He sees you have been chosen. And that's when the episode cuts. And then we did the T'Challa episode. And we finished with Ego visiting Peter Quill on Earth. The big attack starts. There's an alien on Earth. He's trying to attack Peter Quill. The Ravagers go to Earth because they were already in Wakanda. And the Watcher shows up. He says, you have been chosen. Boom. That's when the episode ends. And that's how I would have done the show in general. And if anything, Patrick, to still generate that sense of confusion and mystery of how are they going to come together, I would have still done the episode of Doctor Strange next and not do the "you have been chosen" thing with him, and just leave the audience confused. Take that risk. Maybe it wouldn't work, but I think it's a risk that would be worth taking. Though it wouldn't be as surprising to see Doctor Strange interacting with the Watcher, having seen other characters interacting with him. But I just think overall, the convergence of all these stories would have worked much better, much more seamlessly.
It was surprisingly rushed in the last episode.
It was, because the name of the episode itself, "What If the Watcher Broke His Oath?" and that's the episode where he's least present in. Even in the other episodes where he wasn't on screen, you could still feel that presence, because he's the one guiding us into all of these worlds and whatnot. And then he's just not a part of the Guardians of the Multiverse. Dude, I know you lost against Ultron, but you at least stood a chance. You held your ground. Looking like a fucking gladiator when he powers up, which was fucking awesome. All right. Gico EP, what if Ren was dating Margot Robbie? It would end like the Why? Why would it end like the Doctor Strange episode?
I think what if Ren was dating Margot Robbie happened, it wouldn't even really be dating, because the moment that she said yes, he would turn into that guy that combusted in what is it called? That movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I know which one you're talking about, but I'm blanking. Oh no! I know exactly which one you're talking about. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
No, not fucking Predator. Fuck off. Total Recall.
Oh, Total Recall. Yes, exactly.
He would turn into that guy from Total Recall, and he would just blow up.
No, I wouldn't blow up, but I think I would be unable to speak and be like if I had a stroke for the rest of my life. If she said yes, obviously, if that happened, she would immediately go back on her word, because I wouldn't want to be a burden to her. But no, if Ren was dating Margot Robbie, everyone would be happier. Everyone in the world would be much happier. So yeah. But I want to see that episode. Marvel, make that episode, please.
I mean,
I wouldn't. 30 minutes.
I wouldn't be happier because it wouldn't be me dating Margot Robbie.
But you would be happy for your friend, Patrick, because that's what friends do. And you're not a selfish person.
If it's Margot Robbie, I'm selfish.
Well, but you'll make an exception for me. All right.
As long as she sets me up with Anya Taylor-Joy.
All right. I'll probably see her tonight, so I'll set you up with Anya Taylor-Joy.
Get her autograph for me and send it over to me. Get her autograph and Edgar's autograph for me and send it
over. By the way, I don't know, for everyone watching right now, and for Patrick even, because I know you're excited, if you have not seen the second trailer for Last Night in Soho, do not watch it under any circumstances.
I haven't watched either of the trailers.
I watched it after watching the film, because I heard it before watching. I heard it after watching. Like, that second trailer spoils one big moment. That's part of the fucking mystery of the film that you're involved in. And it shows very much like the 3-act structure that the film follows, like chronologically how it unfolds a little bit. So do not, like, it doesn't give you the big reveal. It doesn't give you the big moments of the climax of the film, which is fucking awesome. But not, and in the meanwhile, I've seen the trailer myself, the second trailer. Do not watch that trailer under any circumstances. That first trailer is perfect. It gives you enough. It immerses you into that world. It hooks you in, and that's all you need. Don't watch that second. Get the second trailer if you're going to review it, to put the clips in your review and whatnot. Yeah. And after the film, definitely watch it, but not before watching the film. I don't know. Or even Edgar Wright in his Instagram stories, he was like, if you want to go completely blind, do not watch this trailer, like as he was sharing the trailer. So
I saw
the director tells you that.
He was even kind of saying that about the first trailer, which is why I haven't watched either trailers. I'll actually say the same thing about Halloween Kills. If you haven't seen the second trailer, even the first trailer for that matter, don't fucking watch them. Universal, man, especially that second trailer. There was some shit in that second trailer that I wish I didn't watch. I watched it because I'm a huge Halloween fan. The original is my favorite horror film of all time. I was like, I'm going to watch the fucking trailer. There's no doubt in my mind. The trailers spoil way too much. There is some stuff and a particular appearance from a character that I won't spoil, but the way that they've done it is brilliant. Without spoiling anything, they show it in that second trailer. And I was fucking annoyed when I saw it in theaters. It was like, oh, I saw this in the trailer, and I wish I didn't see that in the trailer. If I saw that in theaters, I would have, at this press screening, I would have fucking jizzed my pants. I would have came in my pants. It would have become the rock hard sock underneath my bed, and I would have had to go and change.
Alrighty. Which character do you think Liam Neeson is better as? Brian Mills from Taken or Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins? I think Brian Mills. I think Ra's al Ghul, definitely.
I think Brian Mills.
I love the first Taken movie, but you're under much better writing and under best direction with Christopher Nolan.
I just don't like Batman Begins. I just don't like
Batman
Begins. I don't. All right, full disclosure, guys. I don't own the Dark Knight trilogy because I don't like the Dark Knight trilogy.
Holy shit, that's a hot take if I ever heard one. Holy crap.
I think they are three of the most boring comic book movies I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god.
But with Taken, at least I've got the whole, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you were looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you. At least you have that.
Memorize that one.
I watch Taken at least once a month.
Another hot take. I'm more excited for Eternals than No Way Home. Same here. I don't think that's a hot take whatsoever. And I'm still excited for No Way Home, but also cautious considering Sony after Venom 2. We're going to leave it at that. Next week, we're going to talk about Venom because it comes out in most territories. Patrick, I'm sure, has unfortunately already been spoiled.
I'm going to sit over here with the having not seen Venom fan club.
But yeah, next week when it's out here in the UK as well and in most territories, we're going to talk about Venom 2 openly. We're going to consider people who might not have seen it, so we're going to let people know, hey, mute this section of the show and whatnot. But yeah, I echo your entire comment, GPOP. I echo every single word you just said. So yeah. All right, let's take three more.
No Way Home.
All right, let's take three more great questions. We're going to take three more great questions. All right, let's jump down to the chat. Lady Aaron is here. Lady Aaron, good friend of the show. Ren and Patrick, I wonder if you can reveal this to us. What are some movies that we are guaranteed to see in your top 10 best movies of 2021 list and your top 10 worst movies of 2021 list? Nothing is guaranteed, milady. Nothing is guaranteed at this point. Look, I don't want to get into my best list because we want to get those views on the video. Let's just be real here. We want to get those views, and again, for real, nothing is guaranteed. I could see 10 movies in the next few days for the rest of the festival that I like more than my current favorite movie of the year. So who knows? It's not likely, but it is possible. Top 10 worst of the year? I'm going to take a jab at this one, Patrick. Feel free to join me in yours. You don't have to, but if you want to. He's All That, I think you're definitely going to see in my top 10 worst. Cinderella, you're definitely going to see in my top 10 worst.
I've avoided both of them like the plague.
You should. I was talking about something else that I watched that it's absolutely dreadful. What is it? What did I see that I did not like whatsoever? Card Counter is a possibility. Is a possibility to be in my no. Dune is nowhere near that list.
I'm seeing Card Counter. So
nice. Malignant, I didn't care for, but it's not on that list. It doesn't belong there. Reminiscence is really good. I'm the one. Don't Breathe 2. Don't Breathe 2 you're probably going to see on that list. Most likely you're going to see on that list. Yeah, those are old. I don't want to guarantee it, but you might very well see Old and Snake Eyes on that list. That
Yikes,
was shit.
I liked Old. I really loved Old, personally.
I didn't work for me. Sorry, man.
That's fine.
We have a question for you. Yeah, go ahead.
A movie that there are two movies I can guarantee that will be on my top 10 best. The reason I'm saying is because I'm probably not going to do a top 10 worst this year because I haven't seen enough completely garbage movies this year because I've avoided a large majority of those a lot this year because I just don't have the time in my life at the moment to just go out of the way to see movies I know are probably going to be bad. A movie that I know will be on my top 10 best. I know a lot of people will really disagree with me on this, but it's probably the most fun I've had in theaters this year. Spiral. As a massive Saw fan, it gave me everything I wanted to the point that I even got a buddy of mine, Burns Reviews. He actually sent me over a copy of the 4K Steelbook from Walmart because I love this movie so much. So I waited an extra month for my Blu-ray after it was released. And another one, I'm waiting for the Blu-ray to come out after Demon Slayer comes out. I think they've announced that the Blu-ray is going to come out in December. But Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Mugen Train, is without a doubt going to be on my top 10 best. That was such an incredible film. And I'm really annoyed that they're redoing the whole Mugen Train arc for season 2 starting tomorrow. But as for one film that will definitely be on my top 10 worst if I do one, a movie no one's ever fucking heard of called Great White.
Oh, yeah, you talked about that the other day for us.
Garbage.
I just chucked it out. All right, I actually see 3 great questions, one of them specifically for Patrick, so let's do those 3. First, Joe Fletcher. Patrick, have you ever seen Doctor Who? Ren, I know you are a big fan of Matt Smith, and as Doctor Who, like me, Peter Capaldi, so I'm guessing you mean Peter Capaldi is great also, and you are also a big Doctor Who fan, and maybe even Matt Smith. I really like Peter Capaldi. I kind of hate his first season, but I really like
his first season was terrible, but he's a good Doctor.
But yes, Matt Smith is my favorite Doctor. Patrick, have you ever seen Doctor Who?
It's not like I've been watching it since I was 5 years old, and that's the only thing my father and I ever bonded.
No, we never talked about this. You and I never talked about this stuff.
No, not in that Final Destination review we were meant to do last year, which half of it was just us talking and nerding about Doctor Who. What is it? I had to cut out like an entire 45-minute segment out of our Wrong Turn 5 review this year because we just started nerding out about Doctor Who. Yeah. Whenever Ren and I do videos together, we always get onto the topic about Doctor Who, whether it's the recent stuff or the old stuff. We always talk about it, and it's always a nightmare for us to edit because of that.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted for a sec because I got a match on Tinder. All right. Gico EP. Oh, fun. This is a really good question. Would you guys call this year the year of polarizing movies? Examples, Malcolm and Marie, The Tomorrow War, Black Widow. I don't think Black Widow quite belongs on this list. I know some people like it, some people don't, but I think that's the general sense of people liking it, people not liking it. I just don't see it fitting with these other examples. They are all really good. Malcolm and Marie, The Tomorrow War, Venom 2, Malignant, and now even No Time to Die. Those are really good. I don't think Black Widow quite reaches that level, though I see where you're coming from.
I don't even think Malignant belongs on there.
Oh, I actually kind of see it because I'm in a minority on that one because I kind of hated it.
I know. I watched the review, and it's actually the thing is, every single time I've seen someone not like Malignant, I actually understand their points of views from the critics. When it comes to general audience members, I see the dumbest fucking criticisms for the movie, and I'm like, did you not know what James Wan was wanting to accomplish with this movie? To go back to like the Evil Dead style, like campy horrors. Like he even outright said it when he was like, "I'm making this movie." And it
I
turned out
had
to be
so
that.
many people telling me that in the comments, dude. And I go like, this is actually not my example. GCOBP is going to call me John Campia because this is an example he gave. But it's a great example. If a chef serves me a plate of shit, but that was the intent, it is still shit. I still don't like it because it's still shit, even though that was the intent.
Whenever you say that, I just think of Gordon Ramsay. When you said that, I just thought of Gordon Ramsay going,
"Where's the lamb sauce?
Where's the lamb sauce? It's fucking shit. It's fucking raw.
Raw. It's you have to lose your pitch. It's fucking raw.
It's fucking raw.
Fucking raw again. All right. I don't know if I'd call this year the year of polarizing movies, because even though those are great examples that I definitely agree with, GCOEP, I think it happens every year. So I don't think this is... Granted, this year we're probably more divisive than anything. Everyone is so polarized on basically anything and everything you talk about. So there's a point to what you're trying to say that I see, but in terms of specifically movies, I don't. It happens every year. Maybe this year, yes, it happens more than normal. So I can't fully agree, but I can't fully disagree either, because I definitely see where that's coming from. These examples are all great. These examples are all ones that I'm like, yeah, just judging from my comment section alone, just judging from a group of friends
and Marie
talking about them.
Hugely divisive and polarizing one. And
it's my favorite movie of the year until Dune, at least. But I don't know if it still is. You'll have to wait for the end of the year list.
There's one movie coming out in November, some places December here, that is already, I know, going to be a polarizing one. And funny enough, we haven't had a question about it. You and I were talking about this in private messages, but I'm going to bring it up now. I reckon Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City is going to be one of the most polarizing movies of the year. I think this is going to be polarizing on both ends, general audience, on the critics side of you, and fans of the video games, because I did a full breakdown of this movie's trailer the other day, which I didn't even post. I didn't even post the video because I was just so done with what Twitter was saying. I didn't need that shit in my comment section. Yeah. But there is so much shit if you break down those two. We've got two trailers already, by the way. There's a official trailer and an international trailer. The international trailer is better, admittedly. But people are complaining about the tone of the movie from that trailer song, which, by the way, if you're complaining about the trailer song being too cheesy and campy, fuck off. That's what Resident Evil always has been. It's always been campy and cheesy. But there's a lot of shit in there for the fans. Like, there's documents I can already see of Lisa Trevor. There are some tapes regarding the Ashford twins, which, if you've ever played Code Veronica, I'm so fucking happy about that. What is it? Lickers. You've got the G-Virus infected William Birkin. You've got Sherry in there. We're meant to be getting Ada Wong, which, by the way, I'm going to fucking simp over hard like I simp over Toga from My Hero. But, like, I think from what I've seen on Twitter already from general audience and fans, this is going to be a very divisive movie. And we've only just had our first trailer because people either are criticizing it for being too accurate or not accurate enough, which I don't understand either, or it apparently just looks stupid, which, you know, whatever. But the Twitter reception I've seen already is already insanely polarizing.
Yeah, I definitely agree. All right, let's go to the last question that I saw. Where did I see it? Okay, I have GCOVP's here.
Aaron, this is a remake. This is not a remake, a reboot Resident Evil movie. It's not following on the final chapter. This is new cast, new people, new story, new everything, new director. It's from Johannes Roberts, which does concern me quite a bit, actually.
All right, let's finish in a simple question because we already went over time. Hang on. Dominican Scott, Joe Fletcher. I think it was a Joe Fletcher question because it was really simple. Well, it wasn't this one, but let's take this one. What is your guys' top 3 favorite movie franchises? That's a good one. Because my number 1 is either MCU or Star Wars, so they're interchangeable. Though right now I'm in an MCU hype. We're living in the MCU era, so I'm going to go with MCU. Where's my other? What would I put at number 3? Me looking at my. If you guys see me looking at the side, it's always looking at my figures to see if I remember anything.
I kind of break mine down by what is it, like the 3 different categories. I'm gonna break it down by genuinely amazing, like big blockbuster franchise.
Okay.
I'm gonna break it down by horror because that's like my shtick, and then I'm gonna break down one for guilty pleasure. So because
I actually have my
their
third,
guilty
but I'm
pleasures.
gonna let you go first because you already have your 3, and you're dividing it pretty well.
Yeah. So my absolute favorite. I've said this multiple times on my channel, especially in the last year, if you've been following the channel, horror related, it's Saw. Saw might not have great movies, but I enjoy every single one of them in their own way and at least has something fun. It gives the gore fans something. It gives the psychological horror fans something. And it does adapt on the story well in a very soap operatic way that is really, incoherent and contrived. It's at least fun and is actually confusing but fun to break down. And that's what I love about it, kind of. It's a major soap opera if you've ever seen all 9 movies.
I'll go with you on that. As far as horror is concerned, that's definitely my horror franchise. Even though I don't like all of them, especially the last one and the one before that. But yeah, I definitely am with you there. I love it as a franchise.
And it's one of the most consistent horror franchises as well. Like, you've got your Friday the 13th, which I don't think has a good horror film in any of them. Then you have... I don't like a single one, but I love Jason X for some fucking reason.
It's been a while since I watched them, and I have never seen all of them. I know I've seen 1, 2, 3. I think that's all. I think I haven't seen.
5 is the really sleazy one with a lot of sex scenes, full frontal nude. Well, all of them have nudity, but this is the 5th one was directed by a previous pornographic filmmaker, so that tells you a lot.
No, I've also seen the Michael. It's not directed by Michael Bay, unless I'm remembering. But the one from
it's produced by him. It's produced by him. His production.
I like that one. I remember liking that one. It's been a while, but I remember enjoying that one as a schlock B horror film.
It gave me what I wanted from Jason. That's about it. That's about it. But look, it's one of the more watchable, but I wouldn't give any of the Friday the 13th movies above a D+, if I'm being honest. That's just in all honesty.
Wow. I'd give that one, from what I remember, maybe I'll watch it tomorrow and it's complete shit, but from what I remember, I'd give it a C+.
Jared Padalecki is actually the best part of that film, though, from
Supernatural, and Danielle Panabaker.
Yeah, she's very good as well. From Flash. She's very good. What is it? I think Kane Hodder as well came back for that movie as Jason from the parts 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Maybe. I think he played Jason. But then you've got like your Hellraiser, which I've honestly never seen. That is on my roster to watch. No, Child's Play is really all over the fucking place. Nightmare on Elm Street, all over the fucking place. Halloween became shit for fucking years after the first 2. So yeah, out of
what are your favorite franchises?
Yeah, big blockbuster one, I would say Lord of the Rings, but that's a trilogy, and I regard that and Hobbit as separate. They're trilogies, not enough to be a franchise. In regards to franchise, Star Wars, without a doubt. Even the bad Star Wars movies, I still enjoy on their own level as well, except Attack of the Clones. I can't watch Attack of the Clones unless it's in a marathon. I actually have a strange appreciation for Phantom Menace, by the way. I actually like it. And then guilty pleasure. I've said it so many times. I don't care what anyone says. Sharknado is so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
So much fucking fun.
I keep forgetting, but I'm never surprised when you actually say it because it clicks in my head. I'm like, oh, of course that one.
They did time travel in the last one.
For me, it's MCU, it's Star Wars, and this might surprise you. It's a trilogy, like Patrick said, but to me, it's already a franchise because it started so small and now it's a thing. John Wick. I love the John Wick.
Okay. Well, it's becoming a franchise.
Keanu Reeves, yeah, I did a fan short film for it because I love it so much. Still extremely proud of it. And maybe if everything works out, if I have time, resources, and a team, maybe I'll do one for part 4 or maybe even part 5. So root for me, everyone. Root for me.
They've already announced part 5, haven't they?
Yeah. because they're shooting it back to back.
That's right.
But yeah, that is it for today's show, for today's Geeks at the Roundtable. Patrick, thank you so much for joining me today, my friend. Quickly let everyone know where they can find you and just what you have coming up this week.
So, guys, you can find me over on YouTube. Just search up Patrick Burow. It's really easy. What you see on the screen right now, that's my name. That's also my channel name. You can find me over on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I'm pretty sure Ren has those down in the description below if you want to add me on Snapchat. I respond to all messages. Same thing with Instagram and Twitter if you just want to see what I'm getting up to in the week. I've got reactions to I Know What You Did Last Summer, Squid Game episodes 2 and 3. Even though I've already watched the show, I'm doing my in-depth looks and reactions at the show, talking about them one by one and spoiler talk. Really excited to bring you those. Also got a reaction to VHS 94 coming out. I will be reacting to Halloween Kills when it's out this week because I even checked with Universal. I am allowed to react to the fucking film on Peacock as long as I don't give a review after the reaction. As long as I don't talk about it, I can react to it.
Which makes no sense.
No, I even fucking checked with them, and I asked one of the representatives from Universal at my screening, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's fine." And I'm like, "What?
How is that fine?"
So yeah, I've got those coming up this week. Super excited. Technical issues with I Know What You Did Last Summer, so that's going to be delayed by like 3 fucking days. But oh well.
All right, and I'm still covering LFF. I have reviews for Dune this past week, for Spencer. I have an entire playlist for all the LFF reviews that are going to be updated as the days go by. Tomorrow, I will drop my review for Last Night in Soho, which I did watch, and I'm going to watch again today. Tomorrow, I'll also drop my review for The French Dispatch. And then we got a lot of films throughout the week. Masks, Power of the Dog, the surprise film, whatever that is. People are saying it's Dear Evan Hansen. God, I hope it's not, because I've already seen the and it's shit. And then The Lost Daughter, King Richard, The Tragedy of Macbeth, The Last Duel, Halloween Kills, Ron's Gone Wrong, a lot of stuff. It's a busy week, guys, but I'll be here for you. There's a ranking for What If. There's a review for the finale of What If. Check out all those videos, the ones you haven't yet. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Thank you again to Patrick for joining me, and stay tuned to my Twitter and my Instagram in case Edgar Wright or Anya Taylor-Joy or Thomas and Mackenzie show up at the screening tonight. I'll be there. Very excited to rewatch it. So until the next one, everyone. And from me and from Patrick in the future, love each other and love the movies.